Hello everybody, Mr. Tilla here. Today I want to introduce this concept of soil texture to you and quickly demonstrate how we're going to find the texture of the soils that we collected. Soil texture refers to how the soil feels, and that soil feel is determined by the percentage of sand, silt, and clay within a given sample. Sand, silt, and clay are just simply three different particle sizes within a soil, clay being the smallest, sand being the largest. When you combine these different particle sizes in different proportions, you end up with different types of soils. Each of those soils, then, based on the type of particle that they contain, will also display various characteristics. We'll talk more about these characteristics later. This is the soil triangle. You should have a copy of this. And this is a way for us to classify a soil based on the percentage of sand, silt, and clay. Here are a couple of samples of sand, silt, and clay just to visualize them. Sand, again, is something that you can actually feel within your fingers, each individual grain. Feel really gritty. By the time you get down to silt and clay, the particle sizes are so small, they're hard to see individual particle sizes. This is a relative scale. Notice that, of course, this is not an actual scale. The millimeters and inches are blown up here so that you can see the relative sizes of these particle sizes. Gravel is quite large. Sand, silt, and clay, in this particular example, clay is not even visible at this scale. It is very, very tiny. So we have our bags of soil. What you're going to do is perform a field test on each bag, which represents a horizon of soil, and try to determine, based on the feel, what the percentage of sand, silt, and clay is in each of your soil samples. So take a little pinch of soil from the bag that you're going to test. You want to wet that sample. When the soil is wet, it will behave more consistently than if it's just dry. Don't put too much water on it. You don't want it to be soggy. You just want it to be saturated. And then you're going to perform a series of tests. When we talk about a ribbon in soil, put that soil between your forefinger and your thumb, and you're going to try to stretch the soil out. You'll notice that as the percentage of sand, silt, and clay changes in a soil, your ability to create that ribbon will also differ. The instructions on our soil texture lab, and basically what you're going to do is start with step 1 and go through each step, perform each test, and try to determine what the percentage of sand, silt, and clay is in each of your samples. Once you have a percentage down, you can then assign a name. So start with the feel. Start with step number 1, and then move through each step. If the soil is really sticky, hard to squeeze, if it stains your hands, if it has a shine when rubbed, if it forms a long ribbon without breaking, call it a clay and go to step 3. If the soil is soft, smooth, easy to squeeze, at most slightly sticky, forms a short ribbon, call it a loam and go to step 3. You're going to follow these steps until you get to a point where you cannot go any further. At that point, you have identified the type of soil you have and the percentage of sand, silt, and clay. Remember, sand, silt, and clay are just particle sizes within a soil. We'll define those particle sizes for you in a handout that I've given you. Okay, so perform this test on each of your soil samples until you have a name for each horizon. You'll notice that this progresses into 2 or 3 pages. You'll just continue to find and test your soil until it leads you to one particular name. Okay, you're going to have to get your hands a little dirty today. Have fun, and we will check in with you in a little bit.